Welcome, welcome. It's Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy bringing you another Star Citizen video. And as you can see, we're doing another Professions of the Verse video. This is all about salvage. And I do apologize, I've lost my voice. I have had allergies the last couple of days, and this was the result. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So the first ship in the salvage world is going to be the Vulture, made by Drake. Its little write-up says, answer to no one, cut out the middleman, and throw caution to the wind. Rip wrecks like a pro, and carve out your own place in the great big empty behind the stick of this rough, rugged salvage machine from Drake Interplanetary. So this is a one-seater. It's designed for one crewman, which would be you. It's about 33 meters long, 16 wide, and 9 tall. It's a small ship with a cargo capacity of 12, but this thing should be really good at doing small salvage. So if you find little ships in the verse, you can salvage them, or you can salvage small pieces off of big ships with it. We don't exactly know what the salvage mechanic's going to bring and what all you can get out of it. I imagine you're going to be able to get components and, of course, metal bits and pieces that you can take to a refinery or something like that and melt down. Or maybe even guns, that sort of thing. It would be cool if you could salvage a lot of ships, enough, like a full-size ship, enough to actually make it workable again. But I imagine that's going to be under a repair mechanic rather than salvage. And we'll do that another time. So the big daddy of the salvage gameplay is the Reclaimer. The Aegis Reclaimer is an industrial salvage ship equipped with a reinforced cargo bay, a long-range jump drive, and launch pods for unmanned drones. The Reclaimer is an ideal ship for taking advantage of deep space wrecks. Tractor beams, floodlights, scanner options, and docking ports round out the tools this capable utilitarian spacecraft. The listed cargo capacity is only for a dedicated cargo room and does not account for the salvage material capacity, which will be detailed later. So I imagine that's the same in the Vulture as well, but I could be wrong. The Reclaimer is an awesome ship. It's huge. It's a massive ship. You're talking, this thing is 155 meters long, 118 wide, and 50 meters tall. So it's very large, but it's also very ponderous and very slow, and it requires a minimum crew of 4, it says, to operate at efficiency. The max crew would be 5. As you can see, it has this big claw at the front. That's going to be used to grab whatever it is you're trying to salvage, maybe even break it up a little bit, and then tractor in the pieces and start grinding those pieces down within the hull of the ship. Sorry again for my voice. So this ship is so cool to me. It's one of the coolest designed ships in the game, and it really doesn't speak Aegis. Aegis to me is a lot sleeker, a lot more stealthy, like, I guess. So this one really goes against the norm when it comes to an Aegis ship. I kind of wonder if they ever rethought what manufacturer to make this thing, because like I said, it's just not something you would think would come from Aegis. But with that being said, this ship is really cool. I love the rotatable thrusters and arms. I just wish we could actually use it in game right now, which we can't because there's no salvage mechanic in the game yet. It was supposed to be coming in the game right around now or 4.0, but they have pushed that back on the roadmap. And you can't blame them, because in order for the salvage mechanic to work, they're going to have physicalized damage and physicalized components. That's the only way that salvaging stuff will work. You have to have something to salvage. Right now, when a ship blows up, it just goes into pieces and then disappears, because the server just wants to make it disappear mostly. In the future, you might be able to tear off a wing with some shots, or puncture a jump drive or a engine, making the ship dead in space, or cut a ship in half with your weapons. All sorts of different ways to bring a ship down, and the parts will still remain there in space. So you could bring your salvage ship back over and collect those pieces, however that mechanic's going to go. Whether it's you're collecting the components, which I would think you could do that by hand. I could be wrong. I don't know. But you would think you'd be able to collect components by hand unless there was like a big gun or something like that. And then you would want to have something bigger to collect that. Now, pieces of ships, the metal itself, should be salvageable and reusable, right? And should be able to melt that down and use it somewhere. So my thinking is, especially with the larger ship like the Reclaimer, is you're going to be pulling in tons of this metal, whatever it is that's floating in space. You're going to grab it with that big claw, pull it in, tractor it into your refinery. It's going to crunch up the metal, which I don't show you in this video, the grinders and stuff. The grinders are pretty impressive. It'll grind up the metal and then store it in some sort of a storage area in the back of the ship. It does have a spare cargo spot in the ship that's in addition to what you would salvage. Now, most people will probably use that for spare parts for this ship, and maybe a few other things, but you know, this is not really a cargo transport. I don't expect too many people to just use it to run cargo, even though it has a cargo capacity. And the cargo capacity is 180, so it's not bad, but for a ship this size, it's not great. You're going to spend a lot of fuel landing and taking off if you're going to planet landings. So, it may not be cost efficient to use it as a cargo ship per se. Its real bread and butter is salvage. Taking big pieces of metal and crunching it up and taking it off the cell. Much like in mining, you have the Orion that's going to take large chunks of asteroids and crunch them up and sell the ore. I love that they have a ship this size that's dedicated to that mechanic. Because what if you come across a Bengal wreck or a Vandal driller wreck or something large, like a large capital ship of some kind? Your little Vulture's not going to be able to do a whole lot. Sure, you could keep coming back to the same place. Maybe eventually you could get a lot. But I think you would need something this size to come in and get the job done. You may not be able to salvage all of it at once, but you can probably find the parts that are going to be the most worth it and grab a hold of it with a claw and go to work. Now, what are all the crew spots on this big ship? Because obviously the Vulture only has one spot. And that's for, you know, you can do everything. Whereas here, you're going to have a pilot. You're going to have drone operators. You'll probably have somebody operating tractor beams, as well as a drone. You'll have people operating the grinders down below. And you'll have a spot for an engineer. So you've got several different spots here that people can take up. It's a nice big ship. It'll be great for a crew that want to do this type of gameplay. It'd be even better in an organization that goes out and maybe destroys an enemy ship and calls in the salvage crew to come in and get all the juicy parts off of it. At least that's how I see it being used in our org. Kind of like a big organization, you know, protecting a Orion mining operation. You'll want to bring in your salvage ship to take care of whatever debris you've created so you can maximize profit from your engagement, and maybe you can pay for whatever it is you had to spend on getting into that engagement. So here you can see how really big this ship is. In a minute I'll give you a zoomed out view. It's just massive. Massive, massive, massive. I really hope that they bring salvage gameplay into the game pretty soon, which means they've got to get the physicalized stuff in first. So I really hope it happens this year. I want to see what we can do with it. It makes sense. You're bringing in persistence. You're bringing in physicalized damage. Salvage needs to be right on the back door of those features. And I think it will be. Watch how big this ship is when I get closer. It's just massive. But guys, down in the comments, leave me with your thoughts on Salvage mechanic. What are you looking forward to? What do you think of the Reclaimer and the Vulture? What do you think about them doing a medium-sized ship? You know, Constellation size, maybe even a little bigger for Salvage. Like I think that would be great. I think it needs to be in the game. You shouldn't just go from a small ship to a huge ship. There needs to be a medium-sized ship, I think. So let me know what you think about that in the comments. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that little bell icon to let you know when I do more of these videos. Hopefully my voice will be back to normal or somewhat normal tomorrow, so you won't have to hear this scratchy thing that you're hearing now. Or me clearing my throat every 5 seconds. And don't forget, March 7th, I'll be doing a stream on Twitch. I'll announce my subscriber giveaway winner then, and if we get 100 subscribers on Twitch, I'll do another giveaway right away, immediately. So tune in for that. I'm Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy, and I'll see you out in the verse.